Alright, good evening guys. Got a little something different today. Instead of a gameplay video, we're going to do a quick overview, I guess, or review you could say, of the Baofeng UV-5R programmable radio I've got here. These radios they've been out for a little bit, but they're somewhat new to the airsoft scene, kind of gaining popularity, and I've had a couple people ask me how to program these for use with the FRS and GMRS channels, the normal channels that you'd use with any Motorola radio or a Rhino or any sort of off-the-shelf kind of radio. So this video is going to have a quick programming guide on how to program those channels in, and I'll also go ahead and show you some different accessories and antenna mods that I've done to mine to make it a little more versatile and a little more interchangeable with the normal PRC 148 type radio or an emitter radio. So I'll go ahead and cut the camera now and we'll go into the programming guide. Alrighty, so we're back now. We're going to go ahead and get to programming our Baofeng UV-5R here. And the first step you're going to want to do is reset your radio to the factory settings. So you're going to want to turn it on. And before we get into it here, I'm going to explain the menu button on this radio, which is right here below the AB button, is essentially your enter or confirm button through all your functions. So when you go ahead and press menu, it's going to take you into the menu, obviously. And I'll scroll around. Here's our reset that you're going to do in a second. But I'll scroll around here to find something we can select. So we'll go to the, I don't know, let's try, I'm wavering here, 1 second. We'll try the band. So, see the arrow here, arrow on the top next to the band here? By pressing the menu button, that lets you switch your, turn the volume down there, that lets you switch your selection. So basically, when you go through the menu options, it'll start off from the top, hit the menu once, and that'll let you start selecting things, okay? So keep that in mind whenever I say hit menu or hit confirm on something. That's essentially what I'm saying. But anyways, we'll leave that at UHF because we're going to reset it anyways. Okay, so to reset your radio, menu button, you're going to hit 40. 40. Oops, it took 4 instead of 40. 40. Oh, I hit 48. That's a great move of me. 40. There we go. Anyways, reset all. So reset all. Hit menu. Going to go down to all. Menu once more. Source. Don't know what that means, but we're going to hit menu anyways. Menu again. Wait. What it's going to do is going to turn the radio off and turn it back on. As you just heard, it's now in Chinese. So first thing we're going to do is change the language back to American. By doing that, you go to menu. And we're going to hit the down arrow, the up arrow, and go to 14. Menu setting 14, which is the language, voice Chinese. Menu to move the arrow back down, and we're going to go to English. Hit menu to confirm, and exit out. The way I test it is by turning it off and turning it right back on again. Make sure.
Frequency mode.
There you go. And as you heard her say, we're in frequency mode. This is going to be the mode that you want to go ahead and start your programming. You can switch it over to channel mode by hitting this orange button here.
Channel mode.
But that's something we'll go into a little bit later because this video might get a little bit long-winded if I start going into that and start explaining that.
Frequency
So we're back in frequency mode. Now, to go ahead and program your channels, first thing you're going to want to do is go back into your menu once more. You're going to want to hit the up arrow to your step. Your step is at 2.5K. That's where it should stay based on your factory settings. If it doesn't do that, don't worry about it. Just hit menu and toggle your arrows. You see it goes from 50K all the way down to 2.5. Now 2.5 is what you're going to want to leave it on because, I'm sorry, once more menu for to confirm, and then you can exit out. 2.5 is what you want to leave it on because since we're doing the FRS/GMRS frequencies, which are the frequencies that all your standard Motorola's and all your Rhino or off-the-shelf type of walkie-talkies communicate on, as well as your Toy Soldier 148s here, the emitters, those communicate on the FRS/GMRS frequencies. So that's what we're going to program into this radio today. If you have buddies that have another one of these Baofengs, or the United Star, which I've got off screen here, or even one of the TRI 152s, those type of programmable, more premium grade radios, this is something that you're not going to necessarily need to do to communicate with them, or to communicate with people that are still on those standard channels, but it'll make it a lot easier because instead of having to go back in and reprogram your channels and keep a frequency list with you, you simply hit up and down on your channel change, and there you go. you can talk to those people without having to reprogram everything. So we're going to do channel 1 on here. I'm only going to do one channel. You can go ahead and do the rest on your own time because the video would be quite long if I did all the channels. But we're going to do channel 1. Channel 1 is 462.5625. So to go ahead and program that, first we're going to make sure that we are on the top frequency here, because this is the frequency that you, or the section of the screen, the top and the bottom. The top's what you use to go ahead and program your frequencies when you go ahead to program and save them into your radio, pardon me. So since it's 462.5625, we're going to go ahead and type that in. We're going to type in 462.562. Now you notice even though I typed in 2, it went to 0. That's okay because our step is 2.5. So all you're going to do is press up on the arrow one time, and you can see it's 462.5625. Now you're good to go. So you're going to want to leave that in there, and you're going to want to hit menu. Get that back in focus for you. Anyways, menu, and you're going to want to go down to number 27, I believe. Quicker to go the other way. Section or menu section number 27, which is your memory channel. You're going to want to, well, I'm going to end up talking about this for a second, so it's going to end up going off. But once you're in section number 27, let's go back. Number 27, you're going to want to hit menu one time, and you're going to want to bring it down to the bottom, and you're going to want to scroll up on your arrows to channel 1. Now, we'll leave the volume back on to hear the confirmation. Once it's on channel 1,
Receiving memory.
memory once, or menu button once again, it says receiving memory. Now what you'll be able to do is hit exit. That'll bring you back to the menu. Now if you want to check your frequency to go ahead and make sure that's programmed, you're going to want to grab another radio that's on you. I'll take this one for example here. We've got our our Toy Soldier 148 here. And even though you can't see it on the screen, because once again this is just a standard, essentially Motorola in a cooler shell, it shows channel 1. We've got 462.5625 on here. That's standard, or that's channel number 1. And we'll go ahead and hit, I believe it works on this radio, the call button, or the frequency open. Actually, you know what? Here's what we'll do. I'll talk into this camera. We'll turn it up, and you can hear it. Test. Whoop. Sorry for the headphone users there, but that obviously you can hear it works. So that channel programmed in successfully. And what you want to do is, we'll do one more just for the sake of it.
Menu.
Back to menu. We'll turn that down there. Back to the menu, and we'll go.
Memory channel.
Just to show you that program in. See how it says channel 001? If I hit up, you'll see that there's no CH for channel next to it. That means that this channel is open. That channel is full. It's got frequency programmed in, and that channel is open. So go ahead, and we'll leave it on 2 for the heck of it. And we'll exit out, and we'll do channel 2. Now channel 2 is 462.5875. So we got our arrow back on the top again. We're going to type in 462.587. Now you'll see, obviously 7 didn't program. It's okay. We got the step up by 2.5K. Hit up 5875. Okay. So now, to program it in, you're going to want to go menu, or you happen to be on 27. If you're not on 27, just let's say we're on 25, whatever, obviously hit your arrows, or you can type in 27, brings you right there. So, arrows on the top you'll see, hit menu to bring it down to the bottom,
Memory channel.
hit the up arrow to go to channel 2, menu button once more to confirm,
Receiving memory.
receiving memory. Wait a second, even though it's good once it says that, I just wait a second anyways. So hit exit. We're on that channel now. Now, what you can also do to swap those channels, like I said, I'll go into this more later, but just to show you a little tidbit, hit the menu, or the orange button, VFO/MR to go to channel mode. You'll see we're on channel 2. Now what's cool about this is you can go ahead and hit up and down.
1, 2, 1.
Channel 1, channel 2. So we're on channel 1 on the top side. Now what you'll notice is down here it says channel 127. So if I want to communicate on a dual band essentially, let's say you have one guy who's on channel 1, like an admin, and you have your teammates that are on channel 2. Obviously it's convenient for this. They wouldn't be on 1 and 2 that close in a real situation, I'd imagine, but we'll do it for this anyways.
Frequency mode.
you'll go, I'm bringing the backlight back on. We got one on channel 1, and what you want to do, hit AB. AB brings you down to the bottom. You'll see that's channel 127 right now. So we'll hit
2,
down on the arrow. That brings you to channel 2
1,
and back to channel 1. So what you can do is you can set channel 1 to your top frequency, channel 2 to your bottom frequency, and that'll allow this radio to receive two different frequencies at the same time, which is kind of neat. Like I said, I can go into it a little bit more a little bit later, but that's just one little thing you can do with it. And back to frequency mode. So all you got to do is go down the line and program 3 through 22 in. It's like I said, this should have cleared up any questions you got. If you got any questions, go ahead and just post them in the comments or send me a message, whatever. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to cut the camera right now, and I'm going to go ahead and show you a little more, I guess you could say, info and kind of stuff that goes with this radio, a little more accessories that you can come with it or that you can purchase with it, as well as show you couple different things that I've got for it that makes it a little more versatile, a little more compatible with the standard PRC series or the standard toy soldier kind of stuff that uses the U283 plugs. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and we'll come back in a second and show you that stuff. Alright, now that we have the programming done here, let me go ahead and show you what's included with your standard Baofeng out of the box. Now, obviously that's the box right there, instruction manual, got the radio itself of course, and the standard battery. The one that's attached is the extended battery, and if you go ahead and on Amazon or purchase yours through Amazon, that is, it's actually cheaper, ironically enough, to buy the standard kit with the standard battery and then buy the extended one separately. It's actually $3 or $4 cheaper, which I don't understand why, but it is. So I figure save money and to get a free battery can only be a good thing. Inside the box as well, it comes with a little belt or MOLLE clip that screws into the back here, as well as a cheapo, one of those cheapo earbuds that transmits and receives. Over here is your wall charger and wall outlet, and that's pretty much it for the standard what you get out of the box. Now down here, a couple of little things you can buy with it. Baofeng brand hand mic, $6, super inexpensive, very nice quality. As you can hear right there, it's got a nice tactile click and feel to it, nice sound. MOLLE clip on the back. It's got the full little swivel action just like the Thales does, so for $5 you can't really go wrong. Another thing I purchased on Amazon as well is this Baofeng BNC antenna adapter. Now all this does is simply replaces the factory antenna, which I'll go ahead and show you and then remove right here. So just a rigid antenna, no flex in it really, well, minimal flex if any. And I go ahead and remove this here. We're off the tripod here, so doing this with one hand. Bear with me if it's a little shaky. As you can see here, well, you know what, let me show you the antenna first, the connector that is. The connector that these use is a RPSMA connector, and what's weird about these is they have a male protruding end with the threads here. Let's see if I can get into focus. A male protruding end with a female core, which makes it a complete pain to find adapters for if they're not made specifically for Baofeng brand radios. Luckily this one is. You simply go on Amazon, type in Baofeng BNC converter or BNC adapter, and this should pop right up. It's about $5 or $6. Now what's nice about these is, as you can see on the Baofeng radio itself, the center silver portion is where the standard antenna would screw in, and that leaves this entire copper ring exposed to the elements, which is something that I thought would be a problem potentially with water or dirt getting in there. So I grabbed the BNC adapter, and as you can see here, that just screws right in there and completely covers that. So it seals it up a lot nicer. It's not going to be waterproof, water resistant. Yeah, I'd definitely say water resistant. Dirt and debris proof, definitely as well. So that's something for a few bucks you can kind of add a little bit of value or interchangeability to your Baofeng. I say interchangeability because the BNC connector here is what all your standard mil spec or mil issue, whatever you want to call it, PRC radios use. Your 148s, your 152s, all that good stuff. So as you can see, the BNC connector, this is another antenna router. I'll show you the one for the Baofeng in a second. This one is a standard one for a PRC 148. And simply twist and you're off. So there's no more unscrewing the entire thing off the radio, having to leave it aside. You just unscrew it and pop it right off, and you're good to go. Let's move this stuff aside. I'll go ahead and show you on here the antenna adapter I was talking about, and that's right here. This is just a extension cable of sorts, pretty much. Now, when you purchase this from Amazon, this again is another, I believe, $9, so it's pretty inexpensive compared to the ones that you normally buy for the 148s, which run anywhere from, I don't know, maybe $15 to $40, depending on what brand you buy, what length, all that good stuff. But out of the factory, this is going to have the same extension or same plug on it that the standard factory antenna will have. So I went ahead and I snipped that off, and I went to Radio Shack, $5, grabbed a BNC 90 degree or BNC right angle converter. This one's actually a solderless one, so if you don't know how to solder, not handy like that, or if you don't have a buddy who can help you out with soldering this, you can do this without any soldering whatsoever. I wouldn't recommend it over a soldered version because doing that, making that connection with metal on metal and soldering is just going to help your chances and increase your connectivity from your and your signal strength from your radio to your antenna. But like I said, if worse comes to worse, you can't do that. This will work either way. All this is a little wing adapter. You can probably see the crease there. That simply just spreads open, and you work inside there. Strip back your insulation here on your signal wire and connect the signal wire into the center core of this little connector. Simply screw a screw down and you're good to go. You close the wings back up and you're good to go. Now all this does, let me zoom out and show you here. Like I said, all it is pretty much an extension cord. So what it does here is starts at the radio, runs down to the side back of the CPC here, up the back, and then goes into yet another antenna, which is a Baofeng, standard factory antenna. And that's all that is. And basically, over the stock one, it'll help out with your range a little bit, with your transmission power. I haven't really had a chance to fully test the range to its limits, but a couple miles, definitely not a problem. You're going to end up not being able to talk to somebody else before you won't be able to pick up their transmission with this. And what we'll also do here next is we'll move on to a couple more little accessories. Let's get this out of the way, or the last accessory of the Baofeng, that is. And what this is just a converter, essentially a Kenwood converter that has a standard 6-pin NATO plug on the end. And this lets you use all of your usual standard PRC series connectors that have any sort of standard NATO 6-pin U283 on it. And all this does, let's grab the radio. You simply pop up on the right side here, this little flap, and you just plug it in. Now, like I said, this is a Kenwood connection, not a Motorola, not an ICOM. It's Kenwood. So, I mean, I haven't really tried the Motorola or anything like that, mostly because I've read they don't work. You can go ahead and try it if you want. But like I said, Kenwood, definitely 100%. Sorry about off screen there. I'm doing this one-handed. All right, there we go. Kenwood definitely works. Kenwood is what you want. Anyways, so now, like I said, this basically turns your Baofeng into a poor man's PRC 148, essentially. What's nice about it is that it lets you go ahead and use all this older stuff that you may already have for your PRC radio without having to buy a dedicated Kenwood PTT or a Kenwood connector for your Baofeng, which is kind of nice. Usually those PTTs are just converted 6-pin U283s that they just chop the plug off of and convert with a Kenwood, and they usually sell them for about double the price. So this usually will save you some money from having to buy all new stuff, and lets you use all this other stuff. Now what I'll do is I'll go over this real quick. These are the items that I've tested this with that work 100% guaranteed with this Baofeng and this converter. By the way, this is one of the, I believe, Emerson brands. It's a clone brand, so it's not some sort of real radio company that's making this. It's a clone Airsoft company that's usually known for making some pretty cheap or low quality tactical gear. However, this thing has definitely worked perfectly so far, so move that aside. And like I said, this is the stuff that I've tested with, works 100%. Thales hand mic, standard 6-pin, works perfectly fine. Transmits and receives off both radios. We've got a standard MSA U94 PTT. Like I said, works perfectly fine. I've tested it with a couple of different bone mics, as well as the Contact 3s here. And last up as well, H250 hand mic or hand phone, whatever you want to call it. Once again, works perfectly fine. This is actually one of the older models that has the 5-pin instead of the 6-pin, but it still works perfectly fine. And like I said, over here is a pair of contacts. Those work perfectly fine as well. They work with the real MSA PTTs, as well as up here, which is the last thing that I've tested that it definitely works with. And this is one of the clone Television Equipment Associates, or PTTs. They're a submersible one, and the company that makes this is TRI, which is the same company that makes those the new PRC 152 radios, those green ones that they're smashing bricks with and all that good stuff. So while it's technically a fake or clone PTT, it is wired and I guess you could say programmed, if you will, to work with real U283s and real contacts, which I could definitely confirm it definitely 100% works with. Now, these particular pair of contacts, I've gone ahead and I've swapped out the mic. This does not have the standard factory contact or Peltor mic. This has one of the clone condenser mics in it that I simply resoldered in there. So if you have a clone pair of contacts that you want to try this setup with, I'd say that the chances of it are definitely, I'd say it would probably work for you, given that they also use the condenser type microphones and not the, I guess you could say, real type. But like I said, I have not tested with fake ones, but given that they have the same microphone setup and they're generally wired to receive the same type of, on the same type of, I guess, way you could say, those definitely should work. But that's pretty much the general overview of this radio. So if you have any questions or comments or whatever, if you need me to explain something again or explain something a little bit better or explain a different feature on the radio, just let me know and I'll go ahead and try to help you out with that. Go ahead and post, like I said, on our Facebook page or here on YouTube or wherever you want to get in touch with us. So talk to you later.